All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to He's on Fire podcast. I'm really glad you guys could join us tonight.
He's on fire!
We have so much we need to get through. I want to talk about the Suns and Spurs and the Suns' little comeback at the fourth quarter. I want to talk about that Cam Johnson dunk. We have to get into Monty Williams and company going to the All-Star games as the coaching staff. That is huge in the Western Conference. Well, I guess it's like Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. I don't really care how they do it, but the fact that they're coaching is huge for the organization. We got to touch on the conference championship games that just happened today and do a little Super Bowl preview. I want a deep dive into the Arizona Cardinals numbers and what it means for this offseason. I need to talk and vent about Arizona State and the state of the athletics over there. We also got some U.S. men's national team World Cup final stuff we need to talk about. Let's go.
Urkavici sets, loads up, and it is caught! Down strong! Blitz coming, Matthews, Palmer extending the play, crosses the field, Larry Fitzgerald. There he goes, it's over. It's insane to the 4-yard line. Crowder looking, throws it alley. Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly. The downfield shot, ASU. The foot race. They won't get it. Center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
As I said, we have a lot we need to talk about. We have a lot. So I'm going to get right into it right now. And welcome back to the panel, Amit. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good. Just been busy. You know, life hits you.
Life hits you hard. And Jay, how we doing?
I'm doing all right, man. America won today. Joe Shiesty pulled a miracle today, and I can't wait to get into the conference games today. It's been a great playoff stretch for football.
All close games the last 2 weeks, overtime games, all fun stuff. And of course, our kind of new member to the family that we're just indoctrinating in, and he's welcoming with his own arms, Suns fan Randy. What's going on, Randy?
What's going on? What's going on today, man?
Man, feeling good after that win. So first and foremost, the Suns pull it out. They were down by as many as I want to say it was 12 or 13. In that third quarter, Suns make a run. Devin Booker does some things. Cam Johnson does something good. But guys, congratulations to Monty Williams and that coaching staff going to the All-Star game, going to be coaching however the hell format that they're going to have. I just want to touch on that first. Amit, talk to me about what this means, and if you're happy for him, what it could mean for the Suns and all that fun stuff.
I mean, he's building another strong resume for Coach of the Year. I mean, the one that he got shafted on last year, like he's pretty much it's his to lose now at this point. It would take a miracle for him, somebody to come out of nowhere and get it. Maybe, I don't even know. Like it's hard to say. Like it would take like
or something.
Yeah,
Cleveland's coach.
But you got to look like they're in first place, but their conference is bunched up. Like we've separated ourselves from second place is like 6.5 or third place is 6.5 games back. So, I mean, it just means that, Monty is going to be Coach of the Year. I'm glad that he's going there. He picks the bench players, or how's the bench players work again?
Man, I don't even remember because last year they had the weird draft where it was Team LeBron, Team Giannis, and they drafted a player. Remember that Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell were the last players picked that year from both sides? So I'm not really sure how they're doing it this year. So if anybody knows in the chat, I mean, I honestly don't watch the All-Star game. It's just running up and down and BS. But what's important, and we all know what's important, is it's just being around those players, being able to talk to them. That's, where a lot of the shystiness kind of happens. The tampering, that's the word I'm thinking about. All the recruitment and the tampering. That was especially what I was talking about. John Suggs has a point. It could be Taylor Jenkins, the Grizzlies coach. That's a very good point. Randy, talk to me about Coach Monty going in.
I feel good for him, and you know what I'm saying, obviously doing it for the first time and just having the whole staff there. I wish Willie was kind of still a part of the team so he could kind of get in on it too. I feel a little bit bad for him down there in New Orleans. They're trying to make a push, but overall, I mean, how could you not root for, Monty Williams at the end of the day, But I just feel like as the whole thing, like towards him winning the Coach of the Year, I don't know. Just because, I just feel like Suns, I'm always, kind of, pessimistic when it comes to stuff like that, especially with awards and just getting just respect, And I just feel like we're constantly disrespected. So I wouldn't be surprised if they snub him again and they do give it to the Grizzlies coach, or it's still a whole lot of season left. So, you never know what coach or what team might pick it up in the second half or whatever the case may be. So I don't know.
But the good thing about Book now that with Coach Monty there, he can make a push for MVP if he really wants to. If he wants to just go nuclear in that game, Monty will play him 30, 35 minutes,
Yeah.
They end up on the same team. I mean, I don't even know if they'll end up on the same team, but
it is going to be Booker's first All-Star game that he plays in. I would honestly expect it kind of like his first Olympic game where he might get 6 to 9 points somewhere in that area, and it's just everybody else is going to go crazy. But at the same time, why not? Why not go for 20 in the All-Star game? But let's get down to this game. Randy, what did you see from the game? Were you able to watch it? Were you worried about it? And what were your thoughts on the fourth quarter?
Yes, I was able to watch it. I was kind of flipping back and forth between the Rams and this, but I was more focused on this because I was like, I don't really care about that one. But from what I seen initially when we first came out, it was looking kind of ugly. I was like, I don't know. It looked like kind of a trap game. Our energy was there. It kind of gave me a vibe of the Suns were just watching the Bengals versus the Chiefs, and they just went and played the game right after. Oh man, that was crazy. And it still seemed like they were kind of their head wasn't in the game. The energy was off, the shot wasn't really falling. And then Doug McDermott always, I don't know why, but he always gives us a hard time. And who else was out there? I guess they didn't have. They did.
Primo.
Primo, and then Vassell always gives us a hard time for whatever reason. But I just led his team in the fourth quarter. We always figure it out a way, and I just feel like, especially if we're up at least 5 in the fourth, going into the fourth, it's almost game over. But Mikal Bridges stepped up tonight, and I think I might have figured out why he's been playing good. I think it's the shoes. It has to be he brought back the yellow shoes, and he's been, definitely been balling out of control. But it was closer, but I think we need a blowout game. We haven't blown out a team in a while. So I'm kind of yes, I'm here for the fourth quarters, but let's get a blowout. You know what I mean? But
that's a good point. What do you think, Amit?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just the circumstances that we have. We don't have the depth that we normally have. And I thought we were going to lose this game before it even started. I caught the fourth quarter. I missed everything else because I didn't know the game started early, and I was watching the NFC Championship game. But I thought, the Spurs, without us having depth at the center position,
DeJounte Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were missing some guys, but they seem to have unlimited wing guys that have duplicate skill sets that can shoot the three and create off the dribble. So I thought they'd just be attacking the rim at us all night, and we just end up losing. And it somehow, some way, they just pulled it out. And it was Cam Johnson, it was Mikal Bridges, and it was Booker at the end to close it out. So it was just, I was thrilled because I for sure thought that was going to be an L. But it's great to get that win. What is that, 3 now that we beat the Spurs this year?
Mm-hmm. I think this was the last time we played them too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All right. Whatever it is, I mean, we've been giving them L's for a while now, so it feels good to give the Spurs the L's whenever we can. I mean, this team is just an offensive juggernaut, man. I mean, it's just the different. You saw Ish Wainwright. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe Monty does have a plan for Ish. Maybe he is going to be that
small ball 5, man.
Small ball 5 that we've been talking about. Maybe he's the guy.
We were kind of thinking, 2-3 weeks ago on this pod, we said Jalen Smith can be that dude. Now look at it, right? Everything's just completely changed with Jalen Smith and Sticks. Yes, thank you so much for everybody getting us to 100 subscribers on our channel. We really appreciate that. You got to start somewhere. and happy that our little community that we have is part of that subscription process, if you will. Roy Vlogs, thank you for coming by. John Suggs, appreciate you as well too. Everybody hit the like button, share this out, go to all the Google playlist podcasts. It's all in the description. Go ahead and hit that link and subscribe there as well too. We appreciate you guys. Cam Johnson, he is a guy I do not under any circumstance want to trade. Like, period.
No.
Period. Do you guys feel the same way, or do you guys think he's on the block if we can get somebody better?
Nah.
No way. No way.
I don't know if we're gonna. I think we might have a little bit of trouble paying him because I don't know how much do you really pay Cam Johnson at the end of the day? Because I think his
Mikel's
ceiling,
contract.
but I feel like he's worth a little bit more than Mikel, but he isn't starting, so it's just weird. It's a little weird. Just
Give
like
him 100.
You know, at the start of the season, I said that Cam was going to end up starting at some point over Jayyy, because I feel like eventually he is the future of the power forward position for the Suns. So, and he can start for basically every team in the NBA right now. So, I mean, you know, we're gonna have to maneuver some contracts, Saric contract, maybe Crowder's contract, package that together, get, you know, whatever we have to do. But we're gonna have to make room to keep. There's no way you let Cam Johnson walk.
Well, I think there's things you can do. I think you can backload the deal too, because next year is going to be Jay's last year and Saric's last year. So I think there's things that you could do to tinker with it, and maybe you put some extra incentives in there as well too. I'm honestly not 100% worried about Cam Johnson sticking around, because I just think he's gonna, and I don't think he's that elevated of a player and young enough where he can get that huge contract, but he's not going to get that low amount either. I mean, I'd say he's going to get a little bit more than Shamit. What do you think, Jay? Do you think he's on the Shamit level?
Cam Johnson's potential is like through the roof. We've already watched Shamit for a good 5-6 years, and we kind of know the player that he is already. I want to say, like, if we win the chip this year, a big if we win, it will be easier to send Jayyy off to where we can keep Cam for ourselves and stuff. That's really just what it comes down to at the end of the day. We had this whole team pretty deep. You know, you can kind of just flip flop, put people wherever. God, we had Ish playing center for like a whole half, and he did pretty decent.
That was a while.
Yeah, so like I was surprised Monty just kept it like that, that whole second half. But it's a numbers game at the end of the day. In James Jones, we trust, and James Jones is very fond of Cameron Johnson. Considering he made the move to switch the picks around to acquire him because he obviously sees something in Cam. So, and he's flourishing into the player that we didn't necessarily think he was going to get up to. We thought he was just going to be a great spot up shooter, but Cam Johnson's that dude. He's not scared of anybody. He'll guard anybody. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and every time he does something crazy, he doesn't react. He just goes back to the other side of the court and he's ready to play again. So this guy's a dog. That dunk was crazy. He didn't have the best shooting night. He only had 11 points tonight, but plus 17 on the box score. But yeah, Cam Johnson's that guy, dude. You have to give him his flowers when he plays great. He usually does. He's probably the most consistent player on this team.
And I'm sure he's still shooting 43%. I'm going to look up to see what he's at from 3. From home, he's at 45% from home, by the way. Career 38% shooter, and he's 43.5% this year. I mean,
that's crazy.
He's in the 3-point contest. I can almost guarantee that. He definitely should be. We'll see if he actually gets there. Devin Booker, at the end of the game, had 2 nice threes. One of them was kind of fading away over a dude. The other one, he had to pump fake, wait for the guy to go by. I swear he had time to look at him and go, huh, and then go up and pull it up and go straight up for that other one. 2 in a row. Those were the daggers. Amit, what have you seen from Devin Booker? We've missed you these last 2 weeks, and he's been on a roll. What are your thoughts on Book?
I think he's been on a roll, but he's lost a lot of efficiency to get to where he's gotten. I think he was trying to make his own case for the All-Star game starting a couple of weeks ago by just dropping all those 30-point games, and he got a little bit inefficient. He would do a little, and it was laughable too because it reminded you like 3 years ago, right? I think you guys talked about it last time. It's like you see it's Bridges and Booker, and the rest of the guys are like Ishrain White, like these guys that Peyton. These guys would not play on this team in a regular rotation. They're playing because all these other guys are out. It just you're seeing like 3 guys that aren't really rotational guys with 2 guys that are like all let's say like at least Mikel isn't all-star conversation a little bit. Defensive player of the year, definitely. But it's just, I mean, he's clutch. He's been clutch. We know that. It's just like sometimes now when I see him in the fourth quarter, I'm like, sometimes he takes some wild shots and I'm just like, I don't know, man, just run the offense a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, but
the
last 2 years, his shot making capability in the clutch has gone up pretty tremendously.
Yeah.
In my eyes, at least, he does a lot of stupid shit, but when it comes down to the last 2 minutes, he usually plays pretty well.
Yeah. I just feel like Book, I mean, obviously I love Book. I feel like he still has room for improvement or a lot of, things that, and like you said, with his efficiency, I feel like his efficiency took a dip just because he's been locking up or using a lot of energy playing defense more. He doesn't run from matchups either. And that's why I kind of didn't give Mikal Bridges a lot of slack when he was, because if Booker's guard is not running from matchups, then you really don't have an excuse on why you can't give me at least 12. But tonight, the interesting thing with Book is I didn't think he was going to finish the game. He had one of those games, and this is what I'm saying, but he has a lot to grow with, is he was arguing with the ref in the first quarter. I was like, Book is getting ejected. I was like, I kind of put it in my brain. I was like, this is one of those games where Book gets ejected because he's barking back and forth with the ref. And then sometimes, that can get him out of a game. He'll go back and forth so much with a ref, and he'll get petty and do stuff to try to get you to blow the whistle, and then he won't blow the whistle. Then it's just now you're in this petty match with this ref, and then it's just then now you're messing up the whole entire flow in the game and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of going to go like that, and then but luckily, I don't know, maybe somebody talked to him or maybe whatever. He just kind of ever since then, or ever since the last little tussle he had with the ref, he just didn't say anything for the entire night. He was just, if he didn't get it, he did get it. He just kind of kept the same, and I just kind of want that from him moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
What was crazy about his night tonight was in the first quarter he was 3 for 10, and he finished 12 for 24. That's 50%. Anybody would take that any day of the week at an NBA level. Weird part, -12 in the plus minus. Take that for what you will. A little bit lower of a game in reboundings with 4 rebounds, only 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 turnovers. So you definitely see Booker reverting more to ISO Book and trying to get stats as opposed to playing within the offense. And everybody here knows when he plays within the offense, he is absolutely lethal. A few things I want to touch on from people watching. We appreciate everybody coming in. We've actually had 15 viewers this whole time. Doesn't seem like a lot. It's a lot to us right now, and we appreciate it. But Cam Johnson was asked afterwards. It was posted by Dwayne Rankin. Thank you, Iverson Vlogs. And he was asked if he wanted to be in the 3-point contest. And he said, yep. That just warms my heart. And then later, who posted it? Randy. I want to see Desmond Bane versus Cam in the 3-point contest.
That's cool.
That would honestly break my heart because I wanted Desmond Bane, but I wasn't sure of him, and so it just proves that I was wrong, and I don't like that. But man, I would love to see that as well too.
How would you like to see if we had Steph, Book, Cam Johnson, and Desmond Bane? That would be a show. I don't think we'll get that far, but that would be a show for
Eric Gordon needs to be in there too. He's shooting 45% from 3.
Yeah.
Put in Eric Gordon. Put in, whoever else you want to put in at that point. Shit, put in Clay. Honorary. Why not? Let's see Clay in there as well too. This is one of the better events of the All-Star break. The dunk contest is up or down. It could be hit or miss. The All-Star game is trash. The skills competition is dumb. 3-pointer contest is where
the Rising Stars look like it has some potential. I feel like if they modified it, I don't know why they're going to 75 points. Did they change the score?
They changed it to a tournament. It's a tournament now. So there's
it's a tournament. But it's
Duncan
4 teams,
too.
And then they go up to 75 points. And my thing is take it, if you're gonna take it like that, take it back to the playground. Just go to 21 or 15 or whatever the case may be. And I don't want to sit. I don't know if I want to sit and watch a bunch of rookies or G Leaguers play up to 75. But I don't know.
Do you know what I want to watch? I want to watch half court. I want to see fast pace, just quick movement, small windows of opportunity to actually score. And I think a 21-point thing would be cool in a tournament style. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. John, you've had a couple questions. One of them asking, do we need to add a punch? We've all on this podcast discussed at length about Eric Gordon or a Torrey Craig, Thad Young, Kenrick Williams, a lot of guys coming in. I think a lot of us on here are absolutely in win now mode. When I say on here, this podcast, we're in win now mode. I don't want our number 1 pick next year or even the year after. I want to trade them for assets now. If we could get Eric Gordon, I'm 100% on board, and I think most of us are too. We'll deal with the finances later. I really don't care. We can trade everybody next year. I don't care as long as we win a championship. I mean, I really don't mean that.
We've
After
done
that,
too much waiting as Suns fans.
Yeah.
This team has the most potential in the league right now, and I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing a Suns beanie. Like we have the pieces, we have the chemistry, we have the coaching, and we have the front office to make this work. So
yeah,
let's cash in on Eric Gordon, please.
And then you talked about adding McGee. McGee's been huge for us, even when Ayton's been out. He's just been an absolute beast. He adds that extra size, that little bit of extra oomph that we haven't had in years past. But we could say the same thing about Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah.
It's been a fun team to watch, but we do need to add another piece. And if we got even I would take Justin Holiday and Torrey Craig if we were somehow to make that work. Yeah. Now there's a lot of rumors about Goran Dragic, and he's going to be bought out because he's not playing. I would love to see Goran Dragic, bring him back because he was all about Phoenix.
Yeah,
I would love to bring back somebody like that as well too. So there's a lot of options out there, but man, do what you need to do to get a ship. Randy?
I was gonna say I'm like 87% sure like Sticks is out of here. Like just off tonight, I'm not playing. Yeah. Like I'm like 87% like Sticks is done. And I guess he had his opportunities to kind of prove it or like try to prove himself, but I just feel bad for him. He just got the bad end of the stick. Like he came in on a COVID season and never really got acclimated, and then at the same time, like we're a win now, so it's just all bad. But go ahead.
It is what it is. It's circumstantial. I do think he's going to be able to pick up with a team like maybe Orlando, OKC, New Orleans, maybe New Orleans because he was with Willie Green last year, right? I think he's going to be able to make a nice little career out of himself, but it's just not what we need right now, and he doesn't fit what we need. Any final thoughts on the Suns, Amit or Randy, before we move on to the Cardinals?
One last thing I guess for me is I never want to see the lineup of Landry Shamet, Alford Payton, and Ish Wainwright on the court like never again.
It was due to circumstance.
1 minute is too long. Don't ever do that again. But yeah,
we survived.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was real ugly.
Amit, what do you think, man?
Yeah, on Jalen Smith, he's just not a 4. He can't play the 4, and that's really where we needed him. And if you watch him, his instinct is to run to the front of the rim and protect it. Like that's just what he wants to be as a center. And so he rebounds aggressively. He is aggressive around the post. Like he can shoot a little bit. He can work off the dribble a little bit. But I think he's going to have to be part of a trade package. It's just unfortunate. I'd like to see him to stick around and see what he becomes, but. When you got DeAndre Ayton and McGee at the 5, you're not going to play that position, dude. It's not going to work.
Facts. Before we go, before we let Randy go here, we have a big game on Tuesday. We have a team coming in named the Brooklyn Nets, who we didn't beat last year. We don't know if Durant is going to be back. We think he will. Same thing with Harden. We think he will. So there's a possibility we're going to see Harden, Durant, and Kyrie on Tuesday night. Randy, do we have a chance to win Tuesday night? And are you going to be joining us Wednesday night?
Yeah, for sure. I'll join you Wednesday night. Yeah, for sure. Do I think that we can? I think so. I think that our chemistry is there, and I feel like our fourth quarter presence is there. Because I don't know if you've been watching or just keeping up with Brooklyn, they can cut it on too in the fourth quarter. It's super duper strange because I've watched them be down 20 or just looking like a complete whatever show, and it's just and then all of a sudden in the fourth they can put it together too. So it'll be an interesting match, but I think that I got more confidence in us with our chemistry, especially in the fourth with them only playing a handful of games all together. So I think that if we can just kind of keep it cool, just And we're playing on national TV, huh? So we're getting national TV book. I don't know if I like national TV book because whenever we play on national TV, book just likes to, be super inefficient for whatever reason. But I think if we can keep those two under control, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like Durant's actually going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. I must have missed that. I was hearing he was possibly coming back on Tuesday. Maybe that was James Harden. I hope we get at least 2 out of the 3 out of them. Amit, do we have a chance on Tuesday?
Oh yeah, this is a finals preview. This team is going to be up for it. And I'm expecting Ayton to be back too. I know he hasn't played. He hasn't been working out with the team, but
he was questionable today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's been upgraded, and you know how he shows out on national TV. So hopefully we get him back and we can show the Nets what's up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Randy, what's it going to take for you to do one of 2 things? Either get on Twitter or become a Cardinals fan.
Oh yeah, nah. I got the memory of Fitzgerald torching us against the Packers. Just like, nah, it's like it ain't happening.
It was well deserved.
And that's on our intro too. That must writhe in you every time.
Oh yeah, watching that, like, oh man, that game was so crazy. Like, but yeah, nah, it's Cardinals. It's not happening now. But I think I might have the Twitter. I don't know if it's up and running. I forgot the name of it. So next time, probably on Wednesday, I'll probably add a handle for you. But I do think I have the Twitter up now, but I don't know the handle. But you can catch me on YouTube, Stay Off My Grass Podcast, and you can catch me on TikTok, Stay Off My Grass Pod. So all I got for
real
now.
Quick, gut reaction: Rams or Bengals?
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I feel a little weird because I live in LA, so it's like all of a sudden everybody want to dust off their Todd Gurley jerseys. It's just like, where all these Rams fans come from all of a sudden. I like Dirty Joe. I like Dirty Joe over Cincinnati, so I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Hey,
He's on fire.
We like to hear that over here. Randy, thanks for coming on, man. We're gonna see you Wednesday. All right.
All right, man. Peace.
Thanks, Randy.
Man, speaking of which, today's games were so good, but I didn't want to watch the NFC Championship game. My wife's dad came over and he wanted to, and I was just like, fine, we can put it on. It just brought back nothing but bad memories for me. I loved watching Joe Burrow go out there and do his thing tonight, his pocket presence, his awareness, just that killer instinct, and he never looked faded at all. Who are you guys? It's just picks right now out of nowhere. I'm just going to roll with the Bengals, I think. Amit, do you have one that you're going to go with?
I have
Michael's
to go
going with the Rams.
I cannot go with the Rams. There's no way I could pick the Rams.
Attaboy.
I mean, it feels like the Rams could pull it out, but dude, I don't know. That play where Joe, he escaped when he was running out and that guy tried to grab him by the feet. And he got out of that and then got the first down. I was like, man, that's the kind of stuff we need Kyler to do. Like, Kyler's got to figure that out. Right? Like, how does he, he's just a better quarterback right now than Kyler is. I mean, I hate to say it, but he is.
I mean, Kyler is still a top tier, a top third quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Which is what, top 12? Yeah, something like that. But or top 11.
Yeah.
But we can't have I don't even know if we can have a top 10 or a top 5 combo with Kyler Murray right now with the way these guys are balling out. Yeah. Jay, Rams, Bengals.
Man, like, dude, like I tweeted a week ago, I'm like, if the Bengals beat the Chiefs, this has to be the biggest upset in just recent memory when it just comes to just
it's up there
at NFL playoffs. And like, they blew a 21-3 lead, dude. Like, I knew there was something off with this Chiefs team this year. I just knew it, and I didn't think it would come against the Bengals at this time, but like, I just knew there was something off. And what Joe Burrow can do with that shitty offensive line and still pull out these wins is crazy. But it helps when you have Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and just that whole core. And then it came down to coaching at the end of the day. Like Andy Reid got out coached. Like whatever game plan that they put down, Joe Burrow, like the pockets that he found was ridiculous. And I'm just so happy for the city of Cincinnati. They've had great teams in the last 20 years. They just couldn't do it. The Bengals defense is a top tier defense. It is. They've been underrated all year.
Who was that linebacker that came up when Mahomes was scrambling around and had the presence to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to
go yeah. I don't know who that was. I know who you're talking about.
I mean, that was a legendary play, dude. Like, that was wild.
Yeah, Michael, we'd love to do stuff with you too, NBA stuff. I mean, all these guys would love to hop on any podcast, talk about some NBA. So just hit us up, DM us. We're on Twitter and everything as well too.
My pick is the Bengals. Like, we're NFC West people. Like, I'm happy for Matt's staff. I'm happy for Odell that they got to this point. But Joey B, dude, come on.
Yeah, as a lifelong Bengals fan, I have to root for them against the NFC West. Unfortunately, we're actually Cardinals fans, and we were 3-1 against both those teams playing today in the regular season. And now we're dealing with nothing but misery moving forward for the next, 6-7 months. Amit, we haven't had a lot of time to talk about the Cardinals since their unfortunate loss on that Monday Night Football game. Where are you at now with Cliff, Keim, Kyler, Vance Joseph, and the defense? Just verbal diarrhea all over this podcast right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still just like disappointed and upset about it because we were 10-2. Like, we had the best record, we had the best team, and we peaked too early, dude. Like, we peaked too early. We gave away too many of our trick plays. You know, we just did things that teams were able to prepare for us, and then we got injured. We had COVID, people out. It was meltdown city for us. And so, you know, I think we got to run it back. We got to get a better team. I don't think we have to re-sign all the guys that we need to re-sign. I know we're going to go through that. I think we had to start thinking outside the box and trading picks. I mean, look what the Rams have done. They don't have a first-round pick until 2024. Okay, or no, 2026 or 2024. But they don't have any picks.
24.
I don't think they have a single pick in the next year's draft.
Yeah, they don't.
Someone tell me if I'm wrong. But they're basically win now, right? And we all thought, oh, it's LA. They're just pulling all these names together. But, you know, Beckham worked out. Von Miller showed up, not this game, but the previous game. He had a couple sacks. You know, the guys that they brought in have made a difference. And I'm just thinking, like, maybe we just need to accumulate as much talent as we can and as much depth as we can, because you making those smart picks and being like, okay, we got AJ Green. That was a great deal. Well, that guy fucking sucked in the playoffs, you know, and he had like moments where you're like, what is he doing? He's not running after the pick six. He's not turning around on a backward fade, on a back shoulder fade. Like, what is he doing? Like, it's just like, we need to upgrade that. We need to get our number 2 receiver needs to be lethal, because if you look at the Rams, you know, Cooper Kupp, he should be the MVP. If he's not the MVP, it's because they're just going to give it to another quarterback, but he's for sure the MVP. What's up?
You're muted.
Would you trade a second, third, or even a first-round pick for Calvin Ridley?
Yes. Let's go.
That's who I want right now.
Yeah.
That's for number 1 target. Let's just start there. So, Jay, were you able to find out how much the picks are worth?
No, like my Googling skills aren't the best. I'm sorry, but no, I'm totally 100%.
You have failed me for the last time.
I can tell you last year, Najee Harris, the 24th pick for the Steelers, got he got his cap number was 2.2, and then his guaranteed money was, I don't know how that factors in, but his signing bonus is like 17.
Yeah. So we need to get into basically cap stuff. John Suggs, I have everything laid out for coming up for this. So the first thing is, you are right. We're not moving off of Keim, Cliff, Kyler. We're rolling with what we got. I'm putting that to bed for now. Vance Joseph on defense. As of right now, it looks like we're going that way. He might be the only one. He's not getting the Miami job. We know that now. So,
you know, we would have gotten
hanging back.
We would have got 2 third-round compensatory picks if he would have gone. I was just like,
helped us out by leaving.
Please go. Give me those picks.
First 2 things the Arizona Cardinals need to do. I've mentioned this before. Jay, you're going to agree with me right away. Number 1, get new uniforms.
Yes.
Right? Number 1.
Yes.
Get us excited for something. Put all the bad shit that's happened to us in the past. Rebrand. Feel fresh, look good, play good, have fans feeling good about everything, new gear, new shirts, new beanies, new everything. Get us excited, first off, because no matter what you do right now, it's not going to matter until November, Steve Keim. Nothing will matter until November. How do you get us excited? Fresh gear. Number 2, and Jay, we've talked about this, but Amit, you'll probably agree. We need to get either an offensive coordinator, which we probably won't get, or a QB coach.
Yes.
Somebody to challenge Kyler Murray, somebody to challenge Cliff Kingsbury and push back on both of them. He needs another voice in his ear, and him meaning Kyler Murray more so than anything. What do you think of that, Amit? Are we far off on either of those 2 things?
No, I think that's right. And I think you can look at college and find somebody out there that can be a good QB coach for him. I mean, look at all these guys that are coaching right now. Like all these guys were QB coaches to offensive coordinators.
Brian Dabble to the Giants just now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we're looking at. We need to find somebody like that can coach well enough to be elevated to either the head coach, if we can get rid of Kingsbury, or, you know, somebody that's coaching well enough that he ends up getting a job somewhere else.
Yep.
Right. I mean, wasn't Shanahan, McVay, and and LaFleur, weren't they all on the same coaching staff in Washington, right?
In Washington.
That's
Ugh.
wild. I didn't even think about that till now. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be a guy out there that sees Kyler and goes, I can see the potential, and let me come over. You know, he'll put in the effort, get Kyler to where we need to get him. But we're not going to get an offensive coordinator, but we absolutely need to get a QB coach.
Yep. So it's looking like right now that the Cardinals have $9.8 million in cap space. That's where we're at right now. You trade for Calvin Ridley, you're going to add an extra 2.2 mil. So we're looking at about 11 million, right? You bring over Calvin Ridley, who's about $7 to $8 million, and then we can extend him after next year. We're good. So we don't have a lot of cap space right now. You want to see something really cool, though? Watch what happens when I go to 2023. Here's that number, 9.822, right? Let's update this. This is fun. You're going to be shocked. Do you guys have any idea where I'm going with this?
12, I'm guessing. Oh,
$135 million in 2023. We can sign guys and backload contracts this year.
Okay.
I mean, now granted, Kyler Murray's going to get 40 of that, right?
Yeah.
He should get 30 to 35, but he's going to get 40, maybe even close to 45. So take that for account. But that is a big number when your best player, DeAndre Hopkins, is already going to be signed and taken care of. This is including that number. Yeah. All right. So with everything I'm about to tell you, I just want you to keep in mind that the number that we have, that $9.8 million, I feel like is more than it really is. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing we have to talk about is the salary cap situation. We're going to talk about releases and everything first. Jordan Phillips was a bust in my mind. An absolute bust. Jordan Phillips did little to nothing for me the last 2 years except get injured. Jordan Phillips makes $13.3 million. If he were released, that'd be 9.2 million dead cap money, and we'd only save 4.1. So he's the first one that I'm thinking about. Should we cut him? You look at that cap number, that's an obvious no, right? Who else could we cut? We're not going to cut Hopkins. We're not going to cut Humphreys. We're probably not going to cut Watt, Baker. There's that guy. That is a lot of money for next year. Let me see if I can extend this on the bottom here. Hold on. Because it talks about there it is, that the total cap hit right over there at the very end. Cap hit. Jordan Phillips, 13.3. You got Rodney Hudson. We're not letting him go. Justin Pugh, Amit. That's the next one, right? Justin Pugh.
I mean, we got to upgrade the offensive line somewhere. You know, I like Rodney Hudson. Humphreys is good. I think those are the only two for sure guys I feel comfortable with. I think the rest of offensive line, we have to critically look at it and say, can we get a better player at this position? Like, is it available in the draft? Is it free agency? Is it a trade? You know, we got Hudson through a trade, so maybe there's something out there that Keim can work to get those guys. Dude, but we have to improve those other three positions on the offensive line.
I'm going to tell you what we should do once this loads, but I want you to know that if we were to cut Justin Pugh, sorry. Oh, hold on. I'm hoping you guys could hear me. I am just lagging out a little bit over here. Stand by.
We can hear you.
Yeah, if we were to cut Justin Pugh, so he would only be $2 million in dead cap money. Okay? Justin Pugh, $2 million dead cap. We would save $9 million. What are your thoughts on that while I'm trying to get my stuff to come back up?
I mean, like I said, I want to know who's going to come in and replace him. Because he was effective at times. He was just injured and you know, I don't know if the injuries just kind of wore him down, but when he was playing his best, I mean, the offensive line looked really good, running and pass protection.
So the guy that I want to bring in, Brandon Scherf. Brandon Scherf. Who is that? Arguably the best guard in all of football. Yeah, he's his market number. It's going to pop up here in a second. Wait for his market value to pop up. But remember, we can backload his contract, and we have so much going into it. So his base salary was $18 million. Last time I looked, here's market value. Last time I looked, it was in about the 13 to 15 million. 13 million. Look what Keim did when we got Jared Valdir the very next year. We waited a full 36 hours before we signed everybody. Everybody was pissed. What are we doing? We signed Mike Upati. We had one of the better offensive lines. So he already has this track record of paying a left tackle, paying a guard, and we have Rodney Hudson. Steve Keim's an offensive line guy. I could see him making this move ASAP. So you cut Justin Pugh and you save $9 million and you bring in a guy that's worth 13. To me, it makes too much sense not to.
He's going to be a hot commodity in the offseason, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so maybe we can backload it, but maybe somebody's going to has more money up front to give him. And you never know with football players,
In a perfect world, this is what happens, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. In a perfect world. Let me go back to some comments. I've been looking up everything else. John says to cut Max. I'm going to get to that one too. There is quite a few really good. I mean, Mark Lewinsky, Indianapolis. I'll take him. Granted, he's a right guard, but I would take a right guard. There is a lot of good guards here. Trey Turner from Pittsburgh. Look at that salary number this year. There's a lot of Laken Tomlinson from San Francisco. Are you kidding me? I know he's the backup, but he's been playing really good since he started. So there's a lot of things we can do on this end. So that's my Justin Pugh thought. And after that, there's not a lot of guys. You can cut Jordan Hicks. He's in his last year too. You're going to get $3 million in dead cap. I don't know if I want to cut him at this point. What do you think, Amit? You're going to save 6.5, but you're going to get 3 in dead cap.
No, I'd keep him. I mean, we needed our problem was depth on defense. Like we just didn't have enough depth, quality depth, not just guys that are veterans, but like guys that can actually make plays. We didn't have enough of those guys.
Yep. After that, you're looking at Devon Kennard. He's making $9 million. You cut him, like half of his salary is dead cap. You might as well keep him. That doesn't make any sense. That's a bad contract right there, though, for a guy that's done little to nothing in 2 years.
Yes.
Isaiah Simmons, no. Matt Prater, Marcus Golden, heck no. Collins, Zach Allen, so forth and so forth. Those are the legitimate targets that we would cut, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, those are the targets, but I think the linebacker, defensive line, like the biggest question is Chandler Jones. Like, what do we do with him?
Chandler Jones, market value $14 million a season. Would you give him up?
Can we franchise tag him or no?
Yeah, he'd be worth about $22 million.
Okay.
I'm stuck, honestly, because Chandler Jones didn't really feel he didn't fulfill my expectations for this year.
So
he disappeared a lot during this year as well. So I don't know. Like Hassan Reddick is really a person that I'm eyeballing.
That's who I'm eyeballing as well too. His market value, quite shocking as well. I'm also looking at Anthony Barr. No, he doesn't have a market value. So I'm curious what he's been making. I bet you he'd be at least a $10 million player. Let's see. $15 million now for Hassan Reddick. That's going to be a tough one. 15 mil for Hassan Reddick. I would love to go after Anthony Barr. I think he would be a killer for us as well too. But Hassan Reddick, maybe he takes a little bit of a lower deal. Maybe he wants to come back. Our production was no worse with Hassan Reddick than it was with Chandler Jones. In fact, it was better.
Yeah, but if you just take that first part of the season when JJ Watt was healthy and put those two guys together,
they were great together.
I mean, if you can get that combination for a season, I think then if you think you can do that, then I think you have to bring back Chandler Jones.
But that's more
maybe you're right.
That's more of an issue against Chandler Jones then, because he should have showed up, and he disappeared a lot.
He disappeared.
Like we went weeks with talking about how good Marcus Golden was doing and not Chandler Jones, because he just wasn't there. He wasn't even putting pressure in the pocket like that. He was just kind of getting bitched around. So,
and Reddick is the same thing too. Reddick disappears. He'll come in and give you 5 sacks in a game, and you're like, oh, this guy had double-digit sacks, and you're like, no, he only had like 3 games where he actually had sacks.
yeah.
And here's the problem: we're not winning a Super Bowl without outside rushing.
Nope.
And Marcus Golden can't do it alone. So we need to have a plan here, whether it's signing Chandler Jones and having it be a friendly deal. I don't want to go balls to the wall for him, but they need to figure this out. They need to have something. I mean, after offensive line, this is the critical position for me. This is make it or break it for me, is figuring out who that other outside rusher is. The problem is, if we do that, we're not going to have a lot of money for the rest of the roster. Right. And that's kind of a problem too. You sign Chandler Jones to this huge contract. What else are we going to do? There goes another guard. There goes another receiver. Speaking of receiver, Christian Kirk, $12 million is his market value. $12 million.
Send him.
What are you doing, Amit?
I would, if you're bringing in Ridley and you got him as your third receiver, I like that. I like that a lot, actually, if he's your third receiver.
You know who I like way more than him?
You're gonna. I know who you're gonna say. You're gonna say Allen Robinson, aren't you?
Nope.
Who?
Nope. DJ Chark.
Okay.
Speed receiver. Only 3 years in. Market value is probably going to be in the 5 to 7 million range. This is a time signing right here. Whoop. I gotta mute you. Something just happened to your audio. You just like boosted way loud. Everything that I've heard is he's not getting that. He's getting a 5 to 7 year, probably a 1 year prove it deal. He is better than Christian Kirk. I would take that in a heartbeat. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I got to go back and watch more Chark play, but I just. Kirk had done something again, everything was in the first part of the season. Everybody looked like unstoppable in the first half. In the first part of the season, even he did. He was making elite catches, like DeAndre Hopkins levels catches, running really good routes. But now it's like, I don't know, like, what is his value? And I hate to cut a dude that's a local kid too. You know what I mean? Like, that's the other thing that makes me tied to these local guys.
I could care less. I honestly could care less about that. That's not even a thing in my mind. I get it. I understand it. But when it comes to this, I don't think of it that way. If we don't get a Stephen Ridley, man, I would love to go after Mike Williams. I would love Mike Williams. Went to Clemson.
Yeah, Mike,
just like D-Hop.
Mike is good.
Jamison Crowder is another guy that I find Jamison Crowder getting that much really, really, really hard to believe. But he is another guy I would love to see in if we get Ridley.
That's just going to confuse the hell out of us on the podcast when we start talking about Jay Crowder, dude.
Jamison Crowder, Jay Crowder, we just got to go full out. So those are my targets. DJ Chark, Mike Williams, Jamison Crowder, kind of dependent on what goes on with who are we just talking? What goes on with Christian Kirk if we're going to bring him back, and Stephen Ridley. Backfield, Jay, what would you do with Chase Edmonds and James Conner? Chase Edmonds market value $5.2 million a year. James Conner only 2.1. I have a feeling that's going to go up to 5 or 6 too. Would you bring both of them back?
Well, it's common knowledge that Edmonds just can't stay healthy, even though he's a really, really good running back. It's hard. I would re-sign Connor just because he's that pound to the ground guy. He's going to get you those yards that you need. Like we have Inu too. Like he kind of does the same thing as Edmonds does, but he's not as quick. He doesn't hit the edges as quickly as Edmonds can. But Inu, to see him flourish, he needs the touches. So I'm willing to go in with Inu, have James Conner be that the wrecking ball for us when we need those 4 to 5 yards. So,
Amit, what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that combination, those two guys together, you need those a back that can do what either one of those guys do. I think James Conner you have to re-sign. Chase Edmonds. It's funny because last year we let Drake go, and I was like, how are we going to get the same sort of production? And then we put a flyer out there on Conner. He obviously filled in. So I'm thinking, is there a guy that can do what Edmonds does? Like, is there somebody out there that can do what Edmonds can do?
I'm wondering if there's not a second or third round pick that could be just as lightning fast. I would rather go that route in my own opinion. I don't think Eno is that dude. I don't. I love Eno. He went to Arizona State, but I don't think he's that dude that's a game changer like Chase Edmonds. But when Chase Edmonds was out there for the Dallas game, even he was one of our more electric go-to players. So part of me is like, no, I don't want to pay him that much. But if that's all, like the running back list is light this year. It is light. If we cannot get a running back we feel comfortable in a second or third round or trade up or something like that, then I lean towards bringing him back just out of necessity because there's not a lot of backs out there this year. So, but I would prefer to look the draft route. What do you think?
I would want to see more from Dortch because they were giving that guy the ball.
Yeah.
What can he do? Let's see what he can do too.
I completely agree. Yeah. I do. I liked him in preseason. He had a nice end around to start the game against Dallas. I like him. So a lot of questions to be answered there. Tight end. Here's what I want to do. I want to bring back Zach Ertz. 7.6 mil a season. Maybe it'll be a little lower. I want to bring back Max Williams too. 6.6. I have a feeling that's going to be lower due to him coming off of an injury. I don't think that's accurate, but what do I know, right? I want a receiving tight end and a blocking tight end, both on each end where Ertz can move over here. And then Ertz is actually the one blocking and Max Williams goes off for a 40-yard catch because he can do that. I want both tight ends that Kyler Murray can throw to on short situations and guys that aren't afraid to go up the middle. I want both of them back. In fact, I might take both of them back as opposed to one of my receivers that I want to bring in other than Calvin Ridley. Am I crazy?
No, you're not, because look at all the teams that are in the playoffs right now tonight, championship weekend. They all had tight ends that were unguardable for the most part.
Who's the Bengals?
Higgins?
Uzoma? Not Higgins, but Uzoma too? Uzoma?
Yeah, I mean, they just had everybody seems to have weapons, and I'm like, where's our weapons, man? Like, what happened to all the guys that we had? We said at the start of the season, they don't look like that at the end. So we definitely need to bring back both tight ends. And our run game, our offense was so much better with Max Williams because of confusion that he can block or he can catch. Like just having that, like, you guys remember the guy that we had, was it Jim Dre? The guy that we had back in the day? Like, you need at least one of those guys. He wasn't as good as Max Williams. Max Williams I think he has star potential.
And if Max Williams, if you're worried about him receiving, you keep him in for more blocking this year too, and because you already have a receiver.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay? Do you want to see both of them back? Would you be willing to sacrifice a wide receiver weapon for a dual tight end?
I'm 100% on that train, dude. Like, Pat Mahomes got to like Super Bowls with just using Travis Kelce and not really utilizing Tyreek Hill in the backfield. So it's like like to have Max Williams come back. He's been our biggest cheerleader since his injury and stuff. He loves the team. He loves the atmosphere. And for the price that he's tagged at, I think it's a deal. I think it's good for the team. And like he was doing great before he got injured. So like to have him and Zach Ertz on the field at the same time, it's a recipe for disaster for any defensive coach, I would think.
And a recipe for success for us. You know how nice it would be 3rd and 5. You have DeAndre Hopkins running just a 6-yard curl. And then you have Max Williams and Zach Ertz, both big guys up the middle. It makes too much sense, and we need to make sure that we do whatever we can to keep those guys. I am almost on this train more than any other position other than offensive line and rushing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is obvious, right? Right?
Resign.
1-year deal, bring him back.
We don't even have to talk about it. He started and he won. We need him.
Yep.
He's the GOAT. Resign. Yeah.
Do we need to talk about this guy?
1 more year.
No, I don't want to see
Really? Why one? Really? 1 more year? Why?
Like he did really good when Hop was on the field, and like when the ball is
You're not
near
wrong.
him, like
But a lot of
you
guys
can't
can do.
depend on him to be on the wide receiver one. You know, if you can get someone that to do his role and stuff, like go ahead and go for it. I
Like
think
we
AJ
bring in
Green,
Calvin Ridley, that's a no for you then.
I want Calvin, but it's
No. If we
like,
bring in Calvin Ridley, AJ Green's a no.
oh
then.
yeah.
What you're saying. Okay.
Like AJ Green is a scary enough name to where guys have to watch him, right? And at the same time, cover D Hop, Christian Kirk. He can be streaky sometimes, you know, and especially like let's say in a perfect world we have Calvin Ridley on the line as well. Like there's just disaster everywhere, ready to happen. Miracles for us. Like AJ Green, he's a great receiver. Like he had glimpses of him doing a lot of dumb shit this year, but like his best stretch of games I've seen since his Bengal days happened when D Hop was on the field. So
I think you can get that production from a lot of guys with D Hop.
I think so too. But
he's got so much gravity. He just made he's the reason why we're not playing an NFC Championship game. Is D Hop? There's a lot of things that went wrong. I'm simplifying it to a certain degree, but if he stays healthy, our offense is clicking and we have a chance.
Yeah,
I believe so too. Oh shit.
Yeah, he's that guy. John, you were just talking about this guy in your comments. Robert Alford, while we move on to the defensive side. Robert Alford is a no-brainer to me.
You want us to bring him back?
I would bring him back because he's gonna be on the cheap. He can still work and grow with Marco Wilson and Byron Murphy. The thing that we need to do, and that's going to be hard this year because there's a lot of talent, but like JC Jackson is a free agent. We're not going to be able to afford him. Why am I thinking Malcolm Butler? Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is a free agent. Not going to be able to bring him in. So I want to bring him in for the continuity purpose, but on the condition that we have to sign somebody else.
His contract should be for two players because this guy's always hurt. Like you have to sign him and his backup together. I'm just done with him, man. He's always hurt.
You're not wrong. What do you think, Jay? Would you want to bring him back? Or are you in the same boat with Amit?
Dude's healthy. We just got to limit his, his exposure on the field. I think that's the only way to kind of move forward with him. You know, like our defensive success started with him for half the season, and it was anytime a QB tried throwing the ball deep, Robert Alford was there. So like I would stick him around just for the veteran, just a veteran thing alone. So and plus we're gonna get him on the cheap. Like might as well just keep him. And this might be one of the seasons that he actually stays healthy and can actually do a stretch. You know,
that's a stretch.
We say that every year with this guy. I'm done.
That is a stretch, and I don't blame you. I want to try one more year and bringing him back, but we have other needs. The reason I want to bring him back was because we don't have to spend money at that position, and we need to spend money at this position, which is the defensive line. We need defensive line help like no other, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of guys that could really do that for us. Linval Joseph at 33 years old, that's tough. Vernon Butler, yeah, I could see that, but I guarantee you that number is going to go up. In fact, I'm curious. Larry Ojanobi, I would love to bring him in. I would love to bring me some Ojanobi, but now he's coming off of a Super Bowl run. And I guarantee you his $6.2 million contract this year is going to go up. Yeah. Vernon Butler, I guarantee you that $15 million a year is going to go up. That's going to be a tough one. Everything inside line here is going to be tough because these guys are going to get paid. Now we're looking at bringing in a guy like Sheldon Richardson, lower guys, a DJ Jones, for example, which I'm sure he's going to be re-signed by San Fran. There's just not a lot of guys on the defensive line side that we can bring in. So I'm not 100% where to go on this one. So if you guys have any input, please throw it out there.
I mean, another option is to trade up. Like if the Calvin Ridley thing doesn't work out, let's package some picks and go up and get a solid defensive line guy in the draft.
There you go. John says Nick Williams. I don't know much about him. Looks like he was injured last year. So maybe not. P-Dog 006. I don't want to bring back Kirk. I'm over him. I think Amit's over him as well too. Jay,
No, I want to bring back Kirk. I'm
you
good
want to
with
bring
Kirk.
back Kirk?
If we have a good number 2, if Ridley's there.
You want to pay $12 million for a number 3 wide receiver?
Yeah. I would. Dude, we need receivers. This team needs to be loaded. If somebody gets hurt.
I'll take DJ Chark at $6 million. And wide receiver is another position I would draft in high in the draft too. If there was a first rounder at that time, if we don't trade the first rounder, I would trade for a running back or a wide receiver. That's who I would go for in the draft. I don't want to bring in an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman that we have to develop. Like it's proven that skill position guys can produce right away. So that's who I want to go through in the draft. So that's a possibility too.
Yeah, I just think where we're drafting is we're not going to get the pick of the litter.
No.
You know,
we're not going to get a Justin Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb or a Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But Anquan Bolden was a 2nd round pick. Najee Harris was pick number 22.
Yeah.
There's value to be found back there, but defensive line, that's going to be a tough one. So, Amit, I know you got to get out of here in a minute. After seeing my presentation to you, but then seeing the 2023 salary cap situation, like, what are your thoughts now going into this? It gave me hope seeing all that for 2023.
No, I mean, that I feel like there's a lot of, like I said, I want us to think outside the box. Like, let's just not think, okay, let's just run it back with the same guys.
Right.
Like we gotta get some new guys in here. We gotta, look at some players in the draft, free agents, trades, whatever it is. But, also we got to look at our division. Like two of our opponents were in the championship round. And so
and Tom Brady is probably not going to be back next year, and Aaron Rodgers might be going to the AFC.
Yeah. So we got to look at our division and say, how do we get better than these two teams? And, honestly, like, I hate to say it, but the 49ers their rosters constructed almost perfectly. Other than the quarterback position, everything else on their team is built with depth and quality. The Rams, they have a lot of superstar talent that seems to show up. But they're in a position now where they got to just continue to, like, they're buying on credit constantly, trading picks, whatever it is. Like they're maxed out. So they're going to have to continue to just max out their credit cards to continue to get free agents to come there or get bought out or whatever it is. So, I mean, that's what we're battling. So we have to have a solid offensive line against those defenses. We have to have enough weapons against those defenses. And then we have to be able to get to the quarterback. You're muted.
Amit, it was awesome to have you back again. But before you go, did you get to watch any of the U.S. men's national team?
I saw the El Salvador game. I didn't see the Canada game. I don't know what happened in the Canada game. I got to go back and see the highlights of that. But
they were forcing it. Like every time we had open space one way, they would force it for the nice, sexy play, and they would just turn it over.
Did Pulisic play?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't seem too much.
We had full roster.
It was unfortunate to watch. And now we're tied. Well, we're tied with Mexico, but we have a +1 goal differential, which makes Tuesday's game a must win. Or was it Wednesday?
I don't know what you're talking about. The next matchup is Mexico, right? Yeah. That's a must win.
That's Wednesday.
It always is. Hopefully that's on U.S. soil. I don't know where that's at. But.
No, it's going to be in Minnesota.
There we go.
Yep. So that's a must win. 4 more matches, by the way. 4 more matches until we get to the World Cup. I'm excited for that. And this Friday, by the way, opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics.
It's just a bunch of rich white kids trying to go down this like a hill faster,
Try going down that hill and then you'll think differently, I promise.
Hey, I'm not snowboarding. It's cool. They can obviously do it better, but
I love the Olympics and the Winter Olympics. I mean, I actually work with a lot of the speed skating athletes and curling athletes and stuff like that, so I know a handful of them. I'm really looking forward to it. Amit, do you have anything to say before you take off on us yet again?
I know. I got to run, guys. I mean, look, man, we're watching the Suns team. Just don't take it for granted. Let's hopefully everybody gets healthy. Cardinals, I mean, like I said, like I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over a 10-2 start. Because I mean, you just think about the possibilities if D-Hop stays healthy. So we just got to make sure that these guys are healthy next year. And then, let's hope we win that Mexico game. I'm going to be watching that one for sure.
Hell yeah. And the Nets are coming to town on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we got a lot coming up to talk about Wednesday night. I know you'll be busy, but at least give us a thumbs up.
For sure.
All right.
All right.
Take it easy,
Thank you,
brother.
guys. See you, Amit.
Jay, let's go back to the Suns real quick since our esteemed guest kind of took up most of yours and I's airtime over the Suns. What are your what else can we say about them, bro? What else can we say about them?
Man, we're doing the 40 win dance right now. 40 wins in January. Like, remember all the years of not even hitting 30 wins in a year?
20.
Like 20. Yeah, 20, dude. Like, well, 40 wins is insane and still single digit losses. It's insane. Everything that James Jones and Monty Williams have done, just them two alone with this team, has been unforgettable. I just hope we can hold a Larry O'Brien at the end of the season, and I'll be the happiest guy on earth. And I think I could speak for you as well. But this team is deep from top to bottom. Jalen Smith, I wish best of luck to him. Like, his days are numbered at this point. I hope he goes to a team that will respect his time, develop him, and hopefully he can flourish into the player that he was in Maryland, because in Maryland he was insane. Like he was a great player, and I just hope he has that voice in his ear. Like, he came at a bad time. If we would have had him over Alex Len, during those years, I would have been head over heels over him. Even during the bubble season, if we had Jalen Smith, I would have been cool. Like, Jalen Smith and DA going back and forth, I would have loved to see that. He just came at a wrong time. There's nothing you can do about that, but I'm pretty confident with the team that we're going past All-Star break. Hopefully Kaminsky comes back and we can kind of shape him up a bit. Hopefully we can get a scoring guard just to pair alongside with Campaign. I think that's really our biggest deficiency going forward to the rest of the season. But besides that, like, this team is just banging on all cylinders. Booker looks like the best version of himself that we've seen him be his whole time in Phoenix. Chris Paul, there's no blemishes there, and Cam Johnson, he's becoming a better player than what all of us thought.
Just budding into a superstar. Yeah.
And we have a good problem right now. It's like we have so many good players that it's like, what are we going to do at the end? Hopefully we have a trophy at the end of the season, so this conversation could be a little bit easier. Jay Crowder's contract is going to end soon. I'm not going to go down the Dario. Like, we have pieces to move. I know we can move Dario sooner, and we can move a lot of guys sooner. But I like our odds right now. I like our chances. And what's kind of crazy is when we did the beginning season seeding, I picked Phoenix and Miami to be the number one seeds.
Here we are
at one point, and look where we are halfway through the season, and they're both number one seeds right now. I think that's going to change. The East is pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, the East is stupid right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's very entertaining over there. But man, this Suns team is just crazy, man. I love what I'm seeing.
It's so fun. I don't want to miss a game at this point. It's must-watch TV for me.
Yeah,
I don't want to miss a game. I don't want to miss a moment. I don't want to miss a single shot. I want to watch as much as possible because this feels even better than it did last year. And last year felt really good. But last year was proving everybody wrong, right? And it was coming up. And
last year was like, we were like nervous with every game because every game felt like a must win, because it's like,
right.
We have a chance to really make a push here, and like, what do you know, we end up in the finals being 2 games away from winning it. It's like, now at this point we can relax. We know what this team is all about. We have trust in what James Jones and Monty is doing. So now we're just trying to ride the coattails and see what works for us, so we can make that final that final hurrah. So
yeah, absolutely. This is where we're at with everything, and it's just so fun to watch. It's just so fun to watch. we've already talked about everything that can be said. There's deficiencies, sure, but I feel like we make up so much in defensiveness and the prowess that we have in turning it on at the right time, to hitting the right bucket at the right time. But I mean, I feel like Booker's gone a little bit too much ISO book. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I think he needs to play more in the confines of the offense. I would love to see that just a little bit more. Like, you don't need to go and take over every single game, bro. Like, I love what Chris Paul does, how he defers in the first, second, third quarter, fourth quarter. He's going to take off. Rebounding at times hasn't been good. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, I haven't said a thing about rebounding since that horrible, dreadful Toronto Raptors game. Remember when they had like 27 offensive rebounds?
Oh, dude, we got bitched that game, dude. Yeah,
and we won. And we won. But I haven't said anything about rebounding since. Have you?
No, it's been up to par. Yeah, it could definitely be better, but it's exactly what we need. Like, who's to say the 10 more rebounds that we're getting a game wouldn't affect that Bucks series?
Yeah.
It's a second chance opportunities at the end of the day. So,
absolutely, it's been fun. Got a game Tuesday, a big game. I mean,
I'm going to. If you see me, come holler at me.
Hey,
I'll be
that's what's up. So. That's so cool.
Hopefully,
but
Harden's playing.
These games don't feel like a must win anymore. And if we lose, it's kind of like, it's just,
it's just bragging rights right now. So
it doesn't mean anything. And Suns fans, it doesn't mean anything being the best team in the league in January. This doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean being the best team in the league in February, March, April. It matters in May and June. So don't give a shit about power rankings. Don't get in Twitter beef with people. I know I do it myself. I hope you guys enjoy that content.
I was just thinking, I was like,
but it doesn't matter. I get pissed off when like Booker's not getting the respect or Chris Paul's getting the respect. The Suns getting the respect. I'm kind of I've been past that this year. The individual players, that's what I'll stand up for. Monty, coach of the year, I'll stand up for that. You want to talk about the Suns aren't the best team in the league? That's fine. You're going to find out.
Yeah. We can talk about it, but we'll see in the 7-game series. Like, we'll see.
Speaking of talking, I don't even. Did you see what happened on Friday, Jay? Arizona State, the offensive coordinator resigned.
Yeah, like there was just a lot going on. Like, I'm not on Arizona State side Twitter, but for some reason, my whole Twitter was filled with all Arizona State. So fulfill me with everything that happened, because I know a previous scout, his title was taken away about 7 months ago, and for whatever reason, and now it's like, oh, this is probably what it was about. He's probably going to leave. I was hearing a bunch of stuff. So fill everybody in, fill me in.
So before the season started, Prentice Gill, Adam Brenneman, and Chris Hawkins are main young recruiters, and they're like 24 to 26 years old, right? They're working under Antonio Pierce, who's our defensive coordinator and head of personnel, which is like our head of scouting personnel, which is basically recruiting head guy. Those three guys, which were tight ends, wide receivers, and DB coach, got excused before the season. That was kind of the downfall of the papers or letters or whatever they're calling it when they came out, right? They were kind of the main downfalls that got cut early. They weren't fired. They were just like on leave of absence. All three, Adam Brenneman decided to resign. Prentice Gill, Chris Hawkins, they got fired. And our offensive coordinator, Zach Hill, he walked off. So there was inconclusive evidence, is what I'm being told, that it was found that he was doing the illegal recruiting, and that was purchasing tickets for recruits to come in during COVID and all this stuff. So there's a paper trail to him. And so he was 100% there. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's bad that their offensive coordinator is gone. I think it's bad that this could have happened at the beginning of December, right when all the other teams are doing it. And we could have had a jump start to find a good offensive coordinator. Now we're behind the 8 ball at the end of effing January, and we're supposed to hire somebody by next week. I don't like that. But Jaden Daniels did not look good the last 2 years. Jaden Daniels couldn't throw for 300 yards. And I heard a lot of rumors that him and Jaden Daniels, him and the offensive coordinator, Zach Hill, were not getting along. They were not buddy-buddy. So that kind of makes sense why the offense and Jaden Daniels specifically looks so stagnant. So I don't think it's a bad thing to bring in a new offensive coordinator. Now, they did hire Brian Billick, former Super Bowl winning Ravens coach from way back in the day. They hired him as an offensive analyst, much like Marvin Lewis is on the defensive side. So Brian Billick, Marvin Lewis, the head coach and the defensive coordinator of the 2001 or 2 Ravens when Ray Lewis and company were over there. So it's kind of, that's kind of cool, but yeah, more NFL template, NFL model, which you and I are both sick of, this NFL model that Arizona State's trying. So it's not bad that that's happening, but overall, more stuff out of the dossier is coming out. Zach Hill is out. There's more bad light on Arizona State. Everybody's up in arms as fans. Michael Crow, the president, is just sitting over there. No statement from him. Athletic director Ray Anderson hasn't fired his good old buddy, which Herm Edwards, full of nepotism there, which is disgusting at this point because he's not holding himself accountable to the standards that he said, which was top 15 in every sport, conference championships. And since Ray Anderson's been here, I saw we were something like an average of a 6-6 team since he's been here. So he's not even holding himself accountable. Meanwhile, on the basketball side of things, Arizona State loses to Arizona on Saturday, and that sucked because ASU was actually up in that game, and they actually looked like they could have a chance to pull it out. But in Arizona State fashion, they go down in the middle of the second half, and they just can't crawl back. They don't have the firepower. So now Bobby Hurley can teach defense. He can coach defense because this team has made leaps and bounds from December on the defensive side. And if you saw this team when it was Guard U 4 or 5 years ago with Trey Holder and them, Cody Justice and them boys, they didn't play a lick of defense. And now we do. Now this is the best defensive squad that I've seen in a long time at Arizona State. So now part of me wants to give Bobby Hurley another chance. But still, he used to have his guards bail him out with how good they were because that offense was just stagnant. And here we are without that type of player, and his offense is absolutely being revealed to everybody. He is a clown of an offensive coach at this point. So I'm on the fence with Bobby Hurley. But this is the state of Arizona athletics, man. I'm hoping ASU baseball with Willie Bloomquist can come up with something. I love watching ASU baseball. I'll be reporting on it here to a point. But our athletic director is still okay with Herm Edwards being the head coach when they are going to be found guilty of improper recruiting. And all these allegations are going to come out true. And he's not doing anything about it. And neither is Michael Crow. And this is a problem. And whoever left this comment, whatever these mean, I have no idea. But yeah, here's another one. Keep coming back and leaving comments. We enjoy that. Hit the like button and subscribe while you're here, bro. Share it out. Keep those likes going up. I just don't even know what else to say about Arizona State, man. Losing Chip Trainum, losing other guys. It sucks. And dark days are coming for Arizona State athletics because now we're going to be black-eyed and blacklisted, blackballed, whatever you want to call it. It's going to take 2 to 4 years to recover from this. And what coach is going to want to come in, right? It's going to be hard to find a coach that wants to come into this type of situation and win now. So not only are we 2 to 4 years from this even kind of getting behind us and moving forward, we're going to be another 2 to 4 years past that point to get in the type of recruits that we need to get to where we want to go. So we're talking about a 4 to 8 year process now, thanks to Herm Edwards, and Ray Anderson hasn't fired him. How much bullshit is that, Jay?
It's a lot of information, man. And like, it looks like ASU is going down the fucking shit drain right now. So it just, it sucks.
Rejected.
I watched a lot of Arizona State football with you this season. I haven't kept up in previous years just because they were just never on my radar. Just when it came to my family ties and stuff. But it was just disappointing what I just watched from that team. You know, there was just so much talent. I read scouting reports about them. They have NFL talent, just top to bottom. Case Hatch was my favorite player of that year. That defensive line
and they didn't even
great.
utilize him the way they should have.
It
was disgusting to watch. Third and
whatever.
short, we're gonna pass it. We don't need Case in here.
Yeah, exactly. Like what we saw from the Arizona State offense was a lot of what we saw for the Cardinals this year. It was like throwing on unnecessary times, questionable play calling, lack of motivation. At times, coming out with a chip on your shoulder and wanting to win.
Wow,
it's like, man. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like when you're an athletic director for a D1 school, you're not prestigious, but you're pretty well known for being for the reputation that's sad with Arizona State, not just with sports, just in general. Like I would feel like I want to help this image as much as possible and really take this whole situation as sort of like a blessing and a curse at the same time. Maybe this is a time to just hit the restart button and let's just press forward and just rebuild a new foundation for just an athletic department. But I have high hopes for Arizona State football. I see the talent there. I think these guys can flourish. Jaden Daniels, I think he's a solid QB. I think he can go to toe-to-toe with kind of anybody on this side of the country, in a game. He might not pull out the win, but I think his decision-making and his reads are, pretty good. You can kind of see it. So I haven't watched much ASU basketball, but I've been seeing the score updates and stuff, and I look at the box scores, and they're all low-scoring games. So, that makes sense with the defensive side of things. I stopped watching after the Riverside win when they threw. I stopped watching after that Riverside game, and when they had that game, I'm like,
and Marvin Bagley hasn't played since, and he was arguably their best player. Their starting point guard, Marion Jackson, has been everything you could ask him to be, except when it comes to scoring the ball. He averaged 18 a year last year, and he's shooting below 30% this year. If those two guys played, we could be talking about a much different basketball team this year. We really could, especially with the emergence of DJ Horn and company. And I've got my issues with Jay Heath going down the court after scoring 2 buckets, being like, I'm a problem. And then we go and lose that game. Don't be doing that trash. There's still some things that need to be done, but the defense is 110% there. The effort has been there. Everything on offense has been just poopy.
I haven't seen a game over 80, just 80 points in general from Arizona State on both offensive and defensive side of things. Just maybe the overall game score.
Maybe to Bobby Hurley's credit, maybe he knows that, and so he's trying to win in a different way, which I do appreciate to a point. But man,
he's adjusting. He's trying things out. Most coaches, when they're losing like this, they kind of just sit there and not. But
where's the ball movement? Where are the offensive plays being called? It's just everything on offense is awful. Arizona State athletics is going in the dumpster, and I'm curious to see who their offensive coordinator is going to be, or if they have to promote from within, which I hear it's going to be outside hire. I'm curious to see who wants to come into this dumpster fire. So Arizona State is in shambles. The Suns are rising. The Cardinals have a lot of shit to figure out because we haven't heard a peep. And it'll be 2 weeks from their loss tomorrow. We haven't heard an effing thing come out of that organization, dude. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it's a weird thing, right? That's a weird. Here's another one. Oh, that looks like Sister Online. No. We're not doing that. Get out of here. I'm blocking that one.
What's crazy is I was thinking today, we haven't heard a lick from the Cardinals organization, and we're back to square one from last
square 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. We have the talents there. There obviously we need to invest in some areas. I'm all about investing into the O-line. Justin Pugh, I think we could put an asterisk on the season. He was hurt half the season, and he was kind of thrown into the wolf pit. Try to cover some deficiencies coming from Josh Jones and Max Garcia. So, like, I think we can keep him and just invest around those two, with the two being Rodney Hudson and him. There's a lot of corn-fed guys coming into this draft. I'm willing to, work with some guys from Ole Miss, and we could probably get something going, because that's exactly what Cincinnati did. They have a bunch of corn-fed guys that come from Arkansas and Iowa, and
Nebraska.
Nebraska. I mean, they're kind of bad, but it's a process at the end of the day. And if what Joe Burrow's doing is great, look what Kyler can do behind that line. So hopefully Kyler has a good offseason, and he really takes he can grab the bull by his horns. Tom Brady might retire. I'm so on the boat that he probably won't. I think Aaron Rodgers might go to the Niners. He's a San Fran guy. I just have a feeling he might go to San Francisco. But if he does go to the AFC, that does help with our situation. The Rams, I feel like they're going to be around for a while. So we got to move with the times. We have to invest in this team. We can't play too safe. With the cap going up next year, I think it's our time to take the keys for a bit, because it's always been the Rams, it's always been the Niners. So come on, let's go, baby. Let's go all in. Because that 10-2 taste is not gonna leave my mouth until we're in the NFC Championship, man. So
yeah, next November, and we win an important game.
A primetime game.
On the plus side, we don't have to see anything else from Brittany Matthews or Jackson Mahomes.
That's why America won today, because of what Joey Burrow has done today, dude. And I'm just happy for the city of Cincinnati, man, because they had some great teams. I saw Carson Palmer, you're the GOAT, Joey. What he has done has been great. 2 seasons. I was a big fan of him when he was at LSU, and he just continues to up his cred, and he's the most likable guy on social media, just being a football player, in my opinion. I love some Joey Burrow, so congrats to him, man.
And with that, I think we're going to get out of here. I do want to give one more shout out. Ish Wainwright had a career high 10 points. Shout out to Ish Wainwright. Suns got a big game on Tuesday coming up. The U.S. men's national team has got another big game coming up as well, too. We're going to be with you Wednesday night, 9:30. Go Suns.
Thank you for 100 subs, guys. Much love.
What's up?
And it is down strong. Blitz coming. Matthews. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. There he scores. It's over. It's insane. To the 4-yard
Randy, if you watch this again, watch that play.
line. Looking, throws it alley. Oh! Hey, puts it down.
Facts.
They're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia just